You can argue about the greatest decade in automotive history, but if you crave power, style, and raw attitude, the 1960s still reigns supreme. This was the era when American muscle cars ruled the road, and every kid dreamed of hearing a big block rumble in their driveway. But which classics are truly the most desirable? Buckle up. We're counting down the 15 best 1960s muscle cars that everyone wants to own, even today. How many of these legends would you give anything to drive? 1964 Pontiac GTO. If you're searching for the moment muscle cars truly arrived, you'll find it with the 1964 Pontiac GTO. Before the GTO, there were fast cars, sure, but nothing screamed rebellion like stuffing a 389 cubic inch V8 into a mid-sized Tempest and slapping on tri-power carburetors. Pontiac's engineers practically broke the rules to get this beast on the street. Originally, GM limited engine sizes in smaller cars, but the GTO badge was their clever loophole. The result? A 325 horsepower shot across the bow of every other automaker, and a performance arms race was born. The first GTO wasn't just about numbers. Its styling was understated, but a hood scoop and subtle badges told those in the know this wasn't your grandpa's Pontiac. A 4-speed manual and heavy-duty suspension gave drivers a real taste of street dominance. The car was so popular that dealers couldn't keep up. Pontiac expected to sell 5,000. They ended up moving over 32,000. Magazine testers loved it too. Car and Driver famously pitted a GTO against a Ferrari GTO, an audacious comparison that said everything about America's new performance swagger. But the real magic was the GTO's attitude. It was affordable, brash, and just a little bit dangerous in the right hands. Today, original 64s are hot collector's items, but the spirit of the GTO lives on every time someone fires up a muscle car for a midnight run. The 1964 GTO didn't just start a trend, it created a legend. 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. The pony car wars were in full swing by the time Chevrolet unleashed the 1967 Camaro Z28. The Z28 wasn't about quarter-mile dominance or street showboating. This was Chevy's ticket to SCCA Trans Am racing, and they built it for true enthusiasts who wanted a car as happy carving corners as blasting in a straight line. Under the hood was a 302 cubic inch V8, a high-revving, solid-lifter engine built for racing homologation. While the 290 horsepower rating was conservative, anyone who's driven one knows the Z28 was much more than the numbers. Paired with a close ratio 4-speed heavy-duty suspension and power disc brakes, the Z28 could outhandle just about anything Detroit was offering in 1967. The dual stripes, cowl induction hood, and aggressive stance didn't hurt either. But here's the twist. The Z28 was actually a bit of a secret. Chevy didn't advertise it heavily, and many buyers passed over the 302 for bigger engines. Fewer than 600 were made in '67, making original examples unicorns for collectors. But those who did buy them fell in love with a car that felt special at any speed. The Z28 wasn't built for drag strip glory. It was built to win races and reward drivers who loved to shift, steer, and hustle through the curves. Today, its legacy is untouchable, and every time you see those iconic stripes, you know you're looking at a car built for both brains and brawn. 1969 Dodge Charger RT440. Few cars shout muscle like the 1969 Dodge Charger RT, especially when it packs the legendary 440 Magnum V8 under the hood. The '69 Charger had the curves, the Coke bottle body, and a grille that looked like it was baring its teeth at the world. But for gearheads, it's what lurked beneath the skin that made it king. The 440 cubic inch engine was a torque monster, rated at 375 horsepower, but often pushing much more in the wild. With its aggressive camshaft, big 4-barrel carb, and throaty exhaust note, the Charger RT sounded like trouble from a block away. Paired with a heavy-duty Torque Flight automatic or the brawny 4-speed manual, it could rip through a quarter-mile with authority, yet cruise all day on the highway. This was also the Charger's golden age in pop culture. Thanks in part to The Dukes of Hazzard and countless movie chase scenes, the '69 became a screen icon as well as a street legend. The RT package included heavy-duty suspension, stripes, and a bulging hood, cementing its status as a true road warrior. Even today, the 1969 Charger RT440 is one of the most instantly recognized and desired muscle cars on the planet. It's the perfect blend of show and go. A rolling reminder that sometimes bigger really is better. 1965 Ford Mustang GT350 Shelby. The Ford Mustang didn't invent the muscle car, but the 1965 Shelby GT350 proved it could play with the big boys and win. Carroll Shelby took Ford's fastback Mustang and turned it into a street-legal race car, stripping away frills and adding serious hardware. A 306 horsepower Hi-Po 289 V8, stiffer suspension, bigger brakes, and a throaty side exit exhaust that let everyone know you meant business. The GT350 was raw, light, and designed for one thing: winning on the track and making you feel like a hero on the street. Its distinctive Wimbledon white paint with blue racing stripes became instantly iconic. This was a car you could drive to work, hit the drag strip, then take to a road course all without changing a thing. Shelby's modifications weren't just about power, but balance. The GT350 was as happy attacking corners as it was blasting down a straight. Only 562 were made in 1965, making originals rare and endlessly sought after by collectors. The legend only grew as the GT350 racked up wins in SCCA racing and cemented the Mustang's reputation as more than just a pretty face. Today, owning a 65 GT350 is like holding a piece of racing history, a brutal, beautiful machine that defined the Mustang's golden age and made Carroll Shelby's name a household word. 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi. If there's one car that defined bang for your buck in the 1960s, it was the 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner, especially with the legendary 426 Hemi under its skin. Plymouth's idea was simple: strip away the luxuries, add the nastiest engine available, and offer it at a price every kid with a job could dream about. The 426 Hemi was a race-bred monster, officially rated at 425 horsepower, but insiders knew it was even more. The car came with nothing you didn't need. No frills, just a beefy suspension, cartoon beep-beep horn, and a 4-speed stick. Drop the clutch, and the Hemi barked to life, sending rear tires up in smoke and launching the Roadrunner like a rocket. The 1969 model wore a menacing new grille and air-grabber hood scoop, making it look as tough as it drove. It wasn't just a straight-line star either. On the street or at the drag strip, it was a giant killer. Car magazines called it the best bang-for-the-buck performance deal in America. Today, Hemi Roadrunners are among the most coveted muscle cars in existence, bringing insane prices at auction and inspiring endless tributes. The '69 Hemi Roadrunner is the ultimate blue-collar hero, a car that made big power affordable and attitude mainstream. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Sting Ray 427. Is the '67 Corvette a muscle car, a sports car, or both? Doesn't matter. Every enthusiast wants one. The 1967 Stingray was the last of the mid-year Corvettes, and with the L88 427 cubic inch V8, it was a ferocious beast disguised as a work of art. Chevrolet offered several 427 engines, but the L88 was king, officially rated at 430 horsepower, but real-world figures hovered closer to 500. The engine was barely streetable, high compression, solid lifters, no radio, and no heater. Chevy built it for racing, and only a handful of buyers were brave enough to order one. The '67 Veda's timeless design, with its Stinger hood, side pipes, and split taillights, only adds to the legend. Magazine testers described it as terrifyingly fast, and the L88 cars dominated drag strips and road courses alike. Finding a genuine 1967 L88 today is nearly impossible. Only 20 were built, but any '67 Corvette with a big block under the hood is a bucket list car. The Stingray's blend of style, speed, and pure attitude ensures its place as one of the most desirable 1960s icons ever made. 1968 Oldsmobile 442W30. The Oldsmobile 442W30 was the thinking man's muscle car, subtle, refined, and brutally effective. By 1968, Oldsmobile had transformed the 442 from an option package into a standalone model, and the W30 version was the performance pinnacle. Under the hood was a 400 cubic inch V8 with ram air induction, factory blueprinted for 360 horsepower, but it was the total package that made the W30 a sleeper hit. Fiberglass hood, red inner fender liners, tuned suspension, and a reputation for unbreakable reliability. While the 442 never shouted as loud as the GTO or Chevelle SS, real enthusiasts knew what it could do. On the street, it was devastatingly quick, often embarrassing more famous rivals. The W30 package meant you got all the right parts, straight from the factory, no dealer tricks or special tuning required. The 442's subtle badging and classy lines hid a serious performance machine. Today, 68 W30s are prized by collectors who appreciate power without the flash. It's the muscle car for those who know that substance always beats style, even if you can have both. 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 396. Ask 10 muscle car fans to name their dream ride, and at least half will say Chevelle SS 396. The 1969 version stands tall among legends, mixing brute force with timeless good looks. The SS 396 package meant a 396 cubic inch V8, available with up to 375 horsepower. It delivered a deep, throaty exhaust note and enough torque to roast the tires at any speed. The Chevelle's clean lines, domed hood, and bold SS badges let everyone know you weren't driving just another family coupe. But it wasn't just about power. The 69 Chevelle was a well-balanced package. Heavy-duty suspension, quick ratio steering, and front disc brakes made it as confident in the corners as it was at the drag strip. The interior was functional, but comfortable, with bucket seats and a full set of gauges. The Chevelle SS 396 became a staple of street racing, car shows, and pop culture. It's still one of the most popular muscle cars to restore or modify, thanks to a huge parts network and unbeatable style. If you want a car that defines 1960s muscle, the 69 Chevelle SS 396 is always near the top of the list. 1966 Plymouth Barracuda Formula S. Long before the CUDA name struck fear into the hearts of competitors, Plymouth's Barracuda was already making waves. The 1966 Barracuda Formula S was the first to truly challenge the Mustang for pony car supremacy, especially with the potent 273 cubic inch Commando V8 under the hood. The Formula S package brought handling upgrades, special badging, and a 4-barrel carb that pushed output to 235 horsepower. But it was the car's balance, lightweight, quick steering, and surprising agility that made it a real contender. The wraparound glass fastback looked futuristic, and the Barracuda's underdog reputation made it a favorite of young hot rodders and weekend racers. Though it never outsold the Mustang, the 66 Barracuda Formula S proved that Mopar had its own pony car contender. Today, these early Barracudas are gaining recognition for their style and driving fun, especially in Formula S trim. It's a car for those who want to stand out from the crowd and remind everyone that Plymouth was never content to follow. 1967 Pontiac Firebird 400. When Pontiac finally answered the Mustang and Camaro with the Firebird, they didn't hold back. The 1967 Firebird 400 was a street brawler with a wild streak, ready to go head-to-head with the era's best. With a 400 cubic inch V8 borrowed from the GTO, the Firebird delivered 325 horsepower and a wall of torque. The car's distinctive split grille, arrowhead emblems, and aggressive stance made it an instant classic. Optional hood-mounted tachometer and Rally 2 wheels added muscle cred for those in the know. The Firebird wasn't just about straight-line speed. Its tight handling and optional heavy-duty suspension made it a joy to drive fast on twisty roads. Pontiac's marketing called it a sports car with a muscle car soul, and that spirit is clear every time you slide behind the wheel. The 67 Firebird 400 proved that Pontiac could deliver more than just the GTO. Today, first-gen Firebirds are increasingly prized by collectors, and the 400 remains the most desirable of them all, a car that balanced looks, power, and attitude like nothing else. 1968 AMC AMX 390. Not all muscle came from the Big Three. The 1968 AMC AMX 390 is proof that David could still take a swing at Goliath. Compact, lightweight, and packing a 315 horsepower 390 V8, the AMX was a two-seater built for action. AMC engineers built the AMX with racing in mind, a 97-inch wheelbase, heavy-duty suspension, and a big cube engine shoehorned into a small, tidy package. The result was quick, nimble, and a genuine threat at any stoplight. The car's short proportions and fastback styling gave it a unique athletic stance. Magazine testers loved it, calling the AMX a giant killer among muscle cars. The AMX also found success on the drag strip and in SCCA racing, where its balance and power shone. Today, 390-powered AMXs are rare and desirable, sought by enthusiasts who respect their underdog roots and race-proven reputation. Owning an AMX isn't just about standing out, it's about celebrating a time when American innovation meant you didn't have to be the biggest to be the best. 1966 Ford Fairlane GT390. Ford's Fairlane GT390 brought big block thunder to the midsize market, giving blue oval fans a new way to flex their muscle. In 1966, the Fairlane got a major redesign, sleeker, more aggressive, and ready for action. Drop in the 390 cubic inch V8, and suddenly you had a family car that could light up the rear tires. The GT package meant a beefed-up suspension, performance axle ratios, and a rumbling dual exhaust soundtrack. The optional 4-speed manual turned it into a genuine street brawler. The styling cues, GT badges, hood scoops, and wide stripes let everyone know this was no basic sedan. The Fairlane GT wasn't as famous as the Mustang or Torino, but it offered serious performance for less money. In fact, plenty of 60s drag racers started their careers behind the wheel of a Fairlane GT, surprising bigger, flashier rivals at every turn. Today, the 66 Fairlane GT390 is a sleeper classic, practical, fast, and full of attitude. For those who appreciate muscle that flies under the radar, the Fairlane GT is a perfect pick. 1969 Mercury Cougar Eliminator. If you wanted Mustang muscle but with a touch more class, the 1969 Mercury Cougar Eliminator was your ticket. Mercury's pony car always aimed a little higher. More refined interiors, unique styling, and an Eliminator trim, serious firepower. The Eliminator package brought bold colors, hood scoops, spoilers, stripes, and a choice of engines up to the fearsome Boss 302 or 428 Cobra Jet. The top-spec cars pushed well over 400 horsepower, making the Eliminator a true force on the street and strip. The Cougar's hidden headlights, sequential taillights, and luxury appointments set it apart from its more common Ford sibling. But don't be fooled. Under the skin, the Eliminator was every bit as wild as any Mustang. Its chassis was tuned for spirited driving, and its distinctive look made sure you'd never blend into the background. The 69 Cougar Eliminator is still an underrated gem. Fewer were made than most comparable Mustangs, making it a rare and highly desirable piece of muscle car history. For those who want all the thrills and a little extra polish, this Mercury delivers in style. 1968 Buick GS400. For those who wanted muscle without sacrificing comfort, the 1968 Buick GS400 delivered the best of both worlds. Buick's approach to performance was all about effortless speed and refined power. Think muscle in a tuxedo. Under the sculpted hood was a 400 cubic inch V8 making 340 horsepower and 440 lb-ft of torque. More than enough to shove the GS down the quarter mile with authority. The GS400's ride was supple, the interior quiet and plush, and yet, with the Stage 1 package, it could outrun plenty of flashier rivals. Buick's understated styling, clean lines, subtle badges, and just enough chrome meant the GS400 flew under the radar, but savvy buyers knew they were getting a car that could do it all. Cruise in comfort, haul the family, and go toe-to-toe with any street racer foolish enough to challenge it. Today, the 68 GS400 is a rising star among collectors, offering a unique blend of luxury and muscle. If you want to stand out for all the right reasons, this Buick is a perfect choice. 1969 Ford Torino Cobra 428 Super Cobra Jet. Ford's answer to Mopar's big block bruisers was the 1969 Torino Cobra, especially when ordered with the ferocious 428 Super Cobra jet engine. Built for straight-line speed, the Torino Cobra was a no-nonsense muscle machine, designed to humble all comers at the drag strip. The 428 SCJ engine was conservatively rated at 335 horsepower, but easily cranked out more, especially when equipped with the drag pack option, oil cooler, 3.91 or 4-party gears, and a beefed-up suspension. The result? High 13-second quarter-mile times right off the showroom floor. The Torino Cobra's fastback styling, blackout hood treatment, and minimal chrome gave it a sinister look, while the heavy-duty internals made it nearly indestructible. This was a car that demanded respect, both for its performance and its presence. The 69 Torino Cobra is often overshadowed by the Mustang, but for pure muscle car fans, it remains one of Ford's greatest hits, a brutal, blue-collar legend still feared on the street and loved at the drag strip. From blue-collar heroes to high-dollar dream machines, the 1960s muscle cars were bold, brash, and unforgettable. Whether you crave raw power, timeless style, or that unmistakable V8 thunder, these classics keep our hearts racing and our garages full of envy. Which of these legends tops your wish list? Drop your favorite in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the ride, and subscribe for more tales from the golden age of horsepower. Until next time, keep the muscle car dream alive.